Uja. Alright, this video is about why I'm working with the 13-month Sidereal Astrology system. So as you may or may not know, I was initially going to be the first Black female astronaut. I was a PhD student in astronomy at UT Austin. And I really loved looking at the stars through the telescopes. I thought that was going to be my life forever. But it wasn't. And one day, after I started my spiritual journey towards my spiritual awakening, I was looking through the regular ephemeris. I was learning about astrology. I was like reading all that I could after I dropped out of grad school. I didn't even know about astrology. I knew I was a Leo, but I didn't know what that was. So I was looking through the ephemeris, and it said that at that particular time, I think it said the moon was in Gemini. And I went outside and looked at the sky, and the moon was not in Gemini. And I was furious. Right, so it said it was in Gemini, but it obviously wasn't in Gemini. I think this was like 20-something years ago. I think it was actually in Taurus or Aries or something. I was like, but it's not in Gemini, it's nowhere close. And I was so upset about so many things going on in my life with the disillusionment that was going on. Everything was unraveling. Everything that I had thought to be true, I was finding it to be not true. And I was dealing with a lot of patriarchal, toxic male energy, and I didn't really know what was happening. And my friends were calling me saying, did you know there's 9 planetary alignment? There's 9 planets in one sign. And I was like, no, I don't know about it. And I hung up. I remember like everybody was calling me, but I wasn't following the ephemeris back then. I wasn't paying attention. I was, I don't know. I was going through a lot. And, but everybody was calling me. I said, no. And I hang up. No, I hang up. And I looked at the ephemeris and more. And I said, this is all an illusion. This is all a fraud. The moon is not in Gemini. And I went in my room, in the bathroom, and my locks, my first set of locks, they were all the way down to my derriere. They were long. And it was November, and my girls were, 8 and 10. And I went into the bathroom and I cut off all my locks. I was so mad. I was mad at Rastafari. I was mad at reggae. I was mad at men. I was mad at the ephemeris. I was mad at the stars. I was mad at, what happened to me in grad school when I was an astronomy grad. Everything. I just cut it off. And I came out of the bathroom. My girls were like, I screamed because they'd never seen me without my locks, And it was very cold. And I cut off my hair in the winter time. I'll never forget it. Anyway, that is when HeruScopes was born, even though back then I didn't know anything about Heru. I didn't know anything about it. I just knew that somebody was lying. Oh, and then I also found out the Hebrew calendar, which is supposed to be a lunar calendar. Sometimes it has 12 months, sometimes it has 13 months, sometimes it has 11 months. And I realized that the Hebrew calendar isn't a lunar calendar, it was an equinox calendar. It was based on the equinox, not the moon. And then I was like, well, if the moon has 13 months, why does the sun have 12 months? That was the other thing that was really bothering me. I was like, wait a minute. All the indigenous calendars, the Mayan calendar, the Native American calendars, I'm drawing a blank right now, but they all had 13 months. And then they even had, in the Kemetic calendar, they even have 12 months, and then the 13th month is only like a week long. The Mayan calendar and the Kemetic calendar are like that. And I was like, this is weird. And so as an astronomer, I started looking into why astronomers don't like astrology. What is the deal? Why is this break between astronomy and astrology? Astronomy is the study of the stars, and astrology is the study of how the stars impact us, or how we reflect what's going on in the heavens. Because I knew that to my core. And that's when I left grad school, I was really disenchanted, because they talk mostly about the error in their measurements, not really about what they're observing, but why their data can't be trusted, because they're using machines that humans built. They won't admit that. So anyway, these things were really bothering me, and I found this article in think it was Sky and Telescope, or it was some astronomy magazine. A friend of mine lent it to me, Mayo Chang, one of our bass players. And it was breaking down exactly why astronomers don't follow astrology, because the astrologer's system is man-made. They took the orbit of the Earth around the sun, divided into 12 equal segments, and named each segment after a constellation. But it does not track or reflect or signify or anything how the sun actually moves through the constellations, or how the planets actually move through the constellations. And this author was saying there's a 13th constellation between Scorpio and Sagittarius called Ophiuchus. And so, you know, that was mind-blowing. Back then I didn't know about Kemetic spirituality. I knew that the Hindu tradition is sidereal, but they only have 12 months. They don't acknowledge Ophiuchus. So that's why I don't follow the Hindu. I do respect it, and it does have significance. But around that time of year, you know, the dates are all kind of fudgy, and I just don't. I use the Auto Watch app on my phone, and someday I'd like to have the HeruScopes app. It's an app that lets you know when each planet is exalted and in which constellation. Like, what's the best time to sign a contract? What's the best time to, you know, don't go out of your house during these hours, you know, things like that. But I don't, it's not at my heart because it's not based on reality. So we know our ancestors had knowledge of the precession of the equinox. So I know they knew about Ophiuchus. I read that it was the Babylonians that fixed time about 4,000 years ago when they, you know, appropriated the Kemetic astrology system, because time moves forward one day every 70 years due to the precession of the equinox. So every 70 years, time has moved forward. So if the Babylonian calendar was fixed 4,000 years ago, then it's not taking into account the precession. So it's a man-made artificial system of time, which is in itself a man-made artificial system, because time and space don't exist in reality, because there's no duality in reality. But while we're on Earth, it's a good, you know, like a good coordinate system, tracking system, so that we can meet people in the right time at the right place. That's how I look at time, and you know, like GPS systems, latitude, longitude, and also astrology. But astrology is a deeper sense, not just the three-dimensional, but like what's going on with us internally, with our emotions and our souls, our feelings, our you. And I'm really starting to feel that it has to do with different aspects of our personality. But anyway, I'm getting beyond. Let me get back to the 13 sidereal system. So the 13th constellation is Ophiuchus. It's the only constellation of the 88, like the keys of the piano, that reflects the life of an actual human being. And whose life does it reflect? Imhotep, the original father of medicine, not Hippocrates. I call him the hypocrite. Yeah. So at HeruScopes, Ophiuchus is known as Imhotep, and it represents the sign of a healer. The Greek symbol of Ophiuchus is a man with a snake between his legs, and he's stepping on the back, or about to step on the back of the scorpion. He's located between Scorpio and Sagittarius and Scorpio. So it's been said that it represents this time in humanity when we are recognizing alternative forms of healing again that were like stripped of us during the times of the colonization and enslavement of practically every indigenous society before 454 AD, when they came up with the religion known as Christianity. So yeah, it also represents us being able to stamp out our lower nature, our lower sex drive, and that takes us back to the myth of Heru and Set, where we're able to control our ego, control the lower aspects of our personality, and also with Het Heru and Sekhmet, where we're able to remember our divinity. So most of the constellations are off by about a month. Scorpio is only a week long. It's about 7 days. So there's not that many true Scorpions. The sign of Virgo is 45 days long. So there's a lot of Virgos. They think they're Libra, but they're actually Virgo. And then a lot of Leos are, a lot of Virgos are actually Leos. And in my case, I'm a Leo in the Western system, but I'm actually a Cancer, Capita. And it's not that your Western sign doesn't have any significance. We interpret it as how you move about the Earth, because that's a system that's dealing with the sun's orbit around, the Earth's orbit around the sun. But if you're dealing with destiny or purpose in life, or who we're here to become, the work we're here to do, that would be the 13-month sidereal system. And so, as I mentioned in the other video, HeruScopes is a way to align the cosmic forces that were it's a way to connect the alignment of the cosmic forces at the time of your birth with what's going on in the present moment. And it's a way to map out how you can win. Like if your sidereal sun sign is in the sign of Ophiuchus, then you have the potential of being a healer. If you have any of your planets are in Ophiuchus, that's an indication that you have a healing gift. I think my ascendant is in Ophiuchus. So that was like, well, later in life, I would become a healer. I didn't think about it when I was younger, but I definitely have embraced it now. And then like my sun sign is in Capita, which is the sign of transformation. And Capita is the scarab or the beetle that actually raises the sun up every morning. So without Capita, we wouldn't have the new day. So, and in the Western system, Cancer is known for family. So in HeruScopes, people with these alignments are known for having gifts for bringing about transformation within the family. So, and that could be the human family, not just your relatives. And your spiritual family, not just relatives who you're related to. It's not necessarily your family. So this video is already too long. So I hope this helps you understand a little bit more about HeruScopes. Again, you can download the e-guide at HeruScopes.com. And I'll see you on Sunday for Celestial Sundays around 8 p.m. Hatep.